One of the nice things about GitHub Desktop is if you launch the program for the first time, it comes up with this little menu that gives you a series of options. And one of the nice features here is being able to create just a basic tutorial repository and play around with it. Something that is connected to GitHub and lets you sort of explore the basic features for just getting up and running. So what we can do is first we want to make sure that all your settings are correct. So if you go to options here, you can see, okay, I've got my account, various integrations here. I'm using Visual Studio Code as one of my editors, and so on and so forth. So you can go through and customize this to your heart's content. Now, once we create a tutorial repository, what's going to happen is it's going to go into your default location. I happen to have my default location set here to my D drive, and so here's my default folder. I'll go ahead and create a tutorial repository, and this will walk you through everything. You won't really have to do much. And you'll see here it'll create the local repository and get everything set up along with a main branch. You can see now that there is a desktop tutorial with all the necessary Git files in order to get started, as well as if we go to my GitHub account and click refresh, you can see now there's a desktop tutorial repository with a single file, a README file. So what I want to do is I want to make a change to this file and just kind of walk through the process. So the first thing I'm probably going to want to do, and you can see here there's a helpful little section here that says create a branch, is I want to go ahead and create a branch that I can then make changes on and then merge to my main branch. So here you can see I could just say test branch, and it can't find it, so it's going to helpfully offer to create a new one. So we'll create our new test branch, and that's where we'll do our initial work, and the branch will be off of main. All right, so we want to edit our file. And of course, being literary types, maybe we want to give it a little bit of a literary flair, because what README doesn't need a little bit of literary flair. So we'll say it was a dark and stormy night. We'll save that, close out of Visual Studio Code, and now we have our new file. And you can see here the changes have been highlighted with this. And remember, this is on our test branch. So if we went to our main branch, we'd see the original README file. Now, we don't actually have the changes in yet. In order to do that, we have to commit them. So let's go ahead and run a commit. And we'll say something like this: test change, adding some literary flair. Assuming I spelled flair correctly, and commit. Okay, now once we have the commit, we'll want to go ahead and publish this. Now it's been committed to our branch. We can go ahead and publish this up to GitHub. And you can see the little arrow kind of bouncing along here, saying let's go ahead and publish this thing to GitHub. So if we publish this, you'll see very quickly it's grabbing and publishing this data. And now we have it. And here you can see we can now open a pull request to go and get those changes back if we want to. And right now the pull request shows me that this thing is not up there yet. And I'm not sure this is some sort of an error in GitHub or not. You can see that I'll try to sign into GitHub and see if it actually picks it up or not. Okay, it wants authentication. So I go ahead and I'll pause the video for a moment and get the authentication, and then we'll resume. And there we are. So we had our test change. You can see we've got this added some literary flair and so on. So let's get back to desktop. And then now we've got to essentially make sure that our changes get pushed all the way up to GitHub. So let me go ahead and close this out since I've already got a GitHub open, and we'll take a quick look. So here we go, we're back to desktop. Let's quickly pop back into my GitHub account and take a quick look. And you can see right now I don't see any changes yet. I can even refresh this just to make sure. And so currently we're still essentially, I guess if you will, we're looking at the original set. So we have a one of the ways we can then bring this in here, we can go ahead and do a quick pull request. And here you can see the change that was created. And there's the actual change here, so you can review that. And we usually do this because oftentimes you want to have some sort of a code review. So if you want to make a change, somebody can take a look at it and then they can approve it. And once they've approved it here, they can create a pull request and then essentially pull this into the main project. So we'll go ahead and merge that request, confirm the merge. And then we can go back to, hopefully, our project and see whether or not our changes are there. And there they are. It was a dark and stormy night. All right, and so that is a basic how to create and work with a test repository in GitHub Desktop.